Yes, the voices don't bother him at all, but it's the opposite. Enthralled by everything that was going on. I wouldn't go to a bus truck. Yes, he's great.
Clerk, are we?
Ready, you're ready.
Yeah, really? Not hearing it too much.
Senator.
There we go. Hey, Madam Clerk. Good evening, everyone.
Waiting on the.
It's 6:03, so let's go ahead and get started this evening. We'll call to order August regular commission meeting, today's August 5, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll for us?
Mayor Brown,
Here.
Vice Mayor Samaria, Commissioner Angela, Commissioner Gonzalez, Commissioner Huntington.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's go ahead and do our pledge of allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Are you getting feed? You hear something? Like a delay on you.
Madam Clerk. Okay. All right, very good. Madam Clerk, I see that we have one of the commissioners is trying to get into the Zoom.
I don't see him.
I thought it was, we waited for us.
Damn.
Yeah, Chico.
When I called him, I talked to him this morning.
We're able to see waiting room, see anyone, I don't wanna slow us down too much longer, but would you take a look at it, please, while we?
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, Madam Clerk, if you wouldn't mind looking at that, of course, while we start with our additions, deletions, withdrawals, I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead to our additions, deletions, and withdrawals. Do we have any for the agenda before we move forward?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
I'd like to move up the four to the contract. So.
well, the old business.
Yeah.
You wanna move that to where?
Well, it's not any that you want to put it before the contract.
Well, that's the way you'd like to put it. No, you will see me.
I believe these are resting top of 11.
After all, yeah, thank you. Yes, I understand, thank you.
That's the only one? 12. Vice Mayor?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes, that's the only,
Okay,
You have two issues.
I know, but the other one moved to that things.
and we'll probably be about 11.
And I'll do the same for 12C, please.
We'll proceed. Have 12B.
Yes.
Are there any other proposed changes to the agenda? You know?
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
So the new discussion item, which is selection of the police chief is 13. So the new selection of the police chief is 13A. If we can move that one up to 12, right after the resolutions.
All right, so 13. Okay.
It's gonna take about five minutes at the most, 5-10 minutes, yes.
Okay. All right, so the proposals that I have then is 13, immediately after resolutions, we'll go 13A, 12B, 12C, and then proceed as the agenda shows right now. Do I have a motion to a second? A motion and a second to approve the agenda as amended.
So 13A would be the first?
Correct.
Okay.
So it'll be after resolution, we'll go 13A, 12B, 12C, and then we'll continue on with the remaining items on the agenda. So do I have a motion and a second to approve?
So just to clarify here.
Yeah.
You will be taking item 11A to take before, right? It's not, that's what you said, I don't know if no.
Sorry, if I misspoke, it would be, sorry, if I misspoke, it would be ordinances and then 13A, 12B, 12C, and then my apologies. So that's how it would correctly reflect ordinances, and then consent agenda ordinances which are none, and then 13A, 12B, 12C, and then resolution. Do I have a motion and a second to approve? Is the motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor?
No.
I see.
All right, so the agenda as amended, we'll move forward. So let's go ahead and get to our presentation. We have you, and I think Mr. Caserta here is with us, and he's going to help kind of play point for us. We have a few legislative updates here and sheet things. Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
You're here.
Good evening, everyone, mayor, council, and the incredible residents of Village of Biscayne Park. My name is David Caserta, and I have had the honor of serving you as your government relations specialist in Tallahassee for over 28 years. And now that I think about it, that means I probably started when I was 10. So I appreciate that. But anyway, I've always, as you know, enjoyed being in front of all of you throughout the year, for whatever reason it might be. But it's times like this that I actually really enjoy being here because we've got some great news. And as you know, up in Tallahassee, our efforts include identifying policy that might negatively impact the community, as well as policy that impacts the community positively, and try to work on behalf of the village to do our best on behalf of its residents. But one of the biggest issues that we work on up there is funding. That's something that's tangible you can take home and say, hey, this is what we've done for you. And each year we try to do our best to identify projects within the community that we're unable to handle and need some state assistance. And as you know, this year we went after $415,000 for a storm drain, which is going to make a big difference. But the process by which you have to secure those dollars is incredible in Tallahassee. And folks like your mayor, who one of the first mayors in a while now that had a chance to come up and see the Tallahassee process and what it takes to go through that process, I think appreciates it now, and they did a great job in representing the community. I also want to thank the city village manager, because I'm reporting to the village manager, and that's how we usually do it in cities. So it's critical because there's an old saying in Tallahassee that Tallahassee does not wait for the executive session. And so whenever they need resources, they need proof, they need data on your project, it has to get there. And no one that's going to do that is our manager. And I just want to thank him because he obviously understands the issues, and he really got those resources to us when we needed them. So all of this really makes a great impact. But more importantly, we have leaders in this community who represent this district and represent the state in other communities as well. And today we were fortunate to have our Senator Sharon Jones and this incredible legislative assistant Kai, who's I worked with very closely up there. Thank you, Kai, for being here as well. We also have our wonderful and talented Representative Dottie Joseph, hopefully on the Zoom. I'm not sure she's on yet, but I know her folks might be watching as well. You might attend here, but I'm sure she will be back there at some point to thank her personally. But what I want to share with you is we have two other special guests I'll introduce now, but I wanted to share with you that sometimes in certain districts, these leaders have numerous amounts of communities that they have to represent, and that makes it very difficult for them to get funding for everybody or get all of their funding. So one of the great things about Florida is we are fortunate that we're able to reach across the aisle, work with each other. And when I say that, we have been fortunate in the last couple of years to have two really consistent folks that have worked with the senator and representative. They're here today as well to make the big presentation. And I'd like to say hello to Senator Rodriguez, who has been an incredible champion. And also Representative Redondo, and those two are the ones that met and talked with Jevron and with Dottie and agreed to sponsor our appropriations up there, which is a big help. And all together, the team that I just mentioned fought really hard, and it's a team that was unbeatable this year because while a lot of folks had a very difficult session this year, we came out on top. We were able to keep $415,000 and get it through the government. So I am so proud to announce that tonight for all of you. And what I want to do before we do a little check presentation and some pictures, which is always great, I'd like to ask if Senator Jones and Senator Rodriguez would like to come up to say a few words. Once again, this is the teamwork that we love.
Good evening, everyone. It's definitely a pleasure to be here, and especially with my colleague, Chair for the Miami-Dade delegation, Senator Ana Maria Rodriguez. And David, I just want to tell you, thank you all. You all have an amazing representative who represents the city, and the work that you do, even work with all of our offices. So we thank you also. So thank you so much, David. Mayor, you don't understand how, when you came up, how important that was. It makes a big difference. It makes our jobs a tad bit easier because they know that there's a face to the work, to the entire commission, to the city, to the mayor, town manager. We really appreciate you, and it's true. It is bipartisan effort. And I think the chair, she can speak for herself in 2 seconds. But I think that's the benefit of coming into these spaces and make sure that we represent our people to the best of our ability, and that's also reaching across the aisle. Understand that we have disagreement, but when it comes to the people, making sure that we serve you the right way. So thank you all, and it's an absolute pleasure to present this check to you all. Now, and it'll be cheers.
Thank you, Senator Jones. I just want to echo what my colleague said about teamwork and how important it is to reach across the aisle to get results for our community. So even though I don't represent Biscayne Park, where I live in Homestead, I represent the Keys and all of Southwest State. It's such a delight to be here this evening. I'm so happy running into some old friends here in the audience and our esteemed city manager, Al Childress, who I served with when I was on city council back in Doral. So it's like, you know, just wonderful. You made an excellent choice here. So thank you all for your support and congratulations. It's not easy to get money in Tallahassee.
And while they go get the check so we can all take my picture with it, I know they'll appreciate this. I also want to say thank you to the chiefs of staff and legislative days of all of you. And we've got Kai stand up, so and Cedric. You see, we've got Lucy and Emily over in Redondo's office, and we have Patricia and Representative Joseph's office. So, you know, they do the legwork down there, and it's not easy. So I want to thank all of them as well. So, however you want to do the presentation.
Well, we just have the commission kind of stand up with both you folks and just kind of here in the front, maybe get a picture.
Okay, good. And then once that's done, then I know the senator has a lot going on, so presentation, but I want Senator.
Get the sign in back there.
Senator Jones will also stay with us, do a post legislative.
Now, we've got to go up.
Oh, yeah, there's something back of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Bye.
Okay, our senator is gonna give us a quick legislative update. Excellent. Would be.
Thank you once again, and I'm going to just give a brief, just legislative update of what happened this year, in session. And David covered the appropriation aspect of it, but if I could just, briefly go over that for the residents, so you understand. This year, for the 2025 budget, it totaled about $115 billion, about 1.5 billion less than that we, that was about 1.5 billion less than last year, but included within the budget was a $1.3 billion tax relief package. With headline of being the permanent repeal of the business rent tax, which is something that many of the probably this small business owners have been requesting for quite some time. We definitely celebrated this, because we want to make sure that that passed through the veto process as a body, working with the governor's office and also working in both chambers. Very happy for what the outcome was, on this piece of legislation. Looking ahead as we move into the next legislative session, Mr. Mayor, the committee will start on October the 6th, and session will start on January 12th of this year, and we have already started doing some work already on the ground. Soon as the bill filing, then, the opportunity will come up, we'll work on that. We'll work with David and your team to make sure that we get everything that you all need as we go forward. I do want to just bring up two bills that we filed this year. We filed a total of 23 pieces of legislation. And of those, 8 were heard in committee, and the governor signed 3 of those. 2 of them that I am happy about, one of them was dealing with foster children, foster parents. Prior to the governor signing this, if you were a foster parent and you were licensed in a particular county, if you moved to a different county in the state of Florida, the foster children would not move with, so they would go back into the system. So we knew that, as we did our research, come to find out it is a child welfare issue, because many of those children go back into the system and they are being displaced going into other schools. Now with this legislation, if you are a foster parent, and you, move, your license move with you and the children move with you also. I think that was a win for, very bipartisan, bill, passed unanimously both in the House and in the Senate. The other bill was SB 268, which was the protecting the privacy for elected officials. We've seen the amount of political violence that has happened across the country and what happened in Michigan and other areas. And currently, prior to this bill, this governor signing it, I worked with colleagues on both sides of the aisle to make sure that how the bill was written, it still allows for transparency, but it protected elected officials. That goes from the governor all the way down to city commissioners. And this is redacting the home addresses of elected officials, their spouses, and redacting the information of their children, the schools that they attend. The only thing that is not redacted is the city and the zip code, and that's how individuals can still verify whether or not you live in that particular district. And residents can verify not just your address, but they can verify through the Department of State or through the supervisor of elections. Those are 2 bills that I point out. Everything else, that's absolutely public record, but we also send out our monthly newsletter. We also shared all the bills that we have filed and all the bills that the governor vetoed or signed. So again, thank you, Mr. Manager. Thank you, Mayor, and if you have any questions, I'm here for.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate it.
Also, I noticed that Patricia was on Zoom here, and I think the representative, are you all on? Would you like to say a couple words? Can they hear us?
You able to hear us, Patricia?
I think you're on mute. Yeah, I'm pretty sure maybe the she did herself. But, now,
President Hagerstown.
we're still having issues, but at some point, I do want to bring back a representative, Joseph, so she can say a few words. Thank you as well. And there, council, that concludes my report for 2025 legislative.
David, thank you very much. Certainly want to extend our thanks to Senator Rodriguez, Senator Jones, Representative Joseph, and Representative Redondo for their help in securing the appropriations and providing us with an update. We appreciate it. It's helpful to us certainly. And we are going to use that money to use here to help with groundwater issue flooding. So thank you very much. Thank you so much for your hand. Thanks.
Mayor, can I?
Sure.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd just like to thank you also. You went up to Tallahassee with a minute's notice and without a budget, and you out of your own pocket, you know, paid for the hotel room and paid for the travel, and I really appreciate that. We nothing was budgeted, and I forgot to tell you about the nightlife there, but you found out about it later. But thank you so much for your leadership and for going to Tallahassee and helping us out. I really appreciate it.
Hopefully made a difference and help us save money, so thank you. I'm looking forward to, David just left us, but he already said we're looking forward to next session already, so we plan on trying to, identify the policy issues where we can attack and we get some more appropriations next year. All right, so having concluded our legislative update, then we have a presentation for our final audit report.
Yes.
Anybody come here to say it is not soon? Nobody can get in. Some people who wants to listen to the meeting, and we okay, so I came. I don't wanna be here. I look at this, no one is in Zoom. I have a whole group of mom with little kids that want to participate. You guys need to do something. She needs to learn how to get us into Zoom. I give you solutions, please.
Clerk, can you please look at the things?
I have checked it.
While we're receiving the final audit report, please take a look at it. Try to solve that so we can get the people waiting. Appreciate that. Good evening.
Okay, good evening, honorable mayor, members of the village commission, and everyone else here tonight. My name is Jamie Blank, and I'm the senior manager with Caballero, Fearman, Garena, and Garcia. And I'm here tonight to provide a brief presentation of the village's financial statements for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2024. So if you do have a copy of the financial statements, you can go ahead and follow along if you like. I'm going to start with the auditor's report on pages 1 and 2. So this report is broken out into 2 different sections. The first one is the opinion, and it states that we have audited the accompanying financial statements of the Village of Biscayne Park as of until the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2024. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the village as of September 30th, 2024. And this is an unmodified opinion or a clean opinion, and that's really the only opinion that you want to have on your financial statements. The next section is basis for opinions. We conducted our audit in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America and government auditing standards. The next section discusses the responsibilities of management for the financial statements. Management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. And finally, the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements. So our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. The next section of the report is management's discussion and analysis on pages 3 to 11. And if you don't read anything else in this document, you should read this. It highlights the year, compares current year to prior year. And it not only shows the comparative information, but also explains why the balance has changed. So this section really does include a lot of good information in there. Moving on to the basic financial statements on pages 12 to 20. This includes the government-wide statement of net position and statement of activities, as well as the individual fund financial statements for the general fund and other governmental and proprietary funds. And then just something I wanted to point out on page 14 here. This is the balance sheet for governmental funds. So looking at the first column for the general fund, you'll see down at the bottom, the unassigned fund balance as of September 30th, 2024 was approximately 2.7 million. That was just something that I wanted to note there. And then moving on to the notes to the financial statements, pages 21 to 41. These are the required disclosures which provide more detail on the village and the amounts presented within the financial statements. The required supplementary information is next on pages 42 to 51. And this section includes the budget to actual schedules for the general fund, CITT fund, building fund, as well as certain pension and OPEB schedules. On pages 52 to 55, you'll find the combining financial statements. And this section includes the combining balance sheet, combining statement of revenue, expenditures, and changes in fund balances for the non-major governmental funds. And the last section in this document is the compliance section on pages 56 to 59. This section includes reports which are required under generally accepted government auditing standards and rules of the Auditor General of the state of Florida. And we are pleased to report that we did not identify any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses in internal control, nor did our tests find any instances of non-compliance. Also included with our financial statements was our communications with those charged with governance letter as required by auditing standards. And we are pleased to report that we had no disagreements with management or difficulties in completing our audit. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank the village manager, Sharon, and the rest of the finance and village staff for their cooperation and assistance throughout the audit process. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Thank you very much for being with us. For taking us through the report. Okay. So we've concluded the presentations. Madam Clerk, if you had any improvements?
It looks like this, we got hacked on one of the accounts.
Which link are people accessing?
Yeah, I'm trying to resend it to the app now, but it's freezing.
Excuse me, pardon my interruption, but I'm getting lots of texts for people who can't access this meeting. It's very important.
Is there anything that we can do from the technical side of this, Madam Clerk, that we can refresh the link, we can send a new link?
I'm sending a new one, trying to refresh a new one now.
How can we make that one available to people trying to?
On the app, I'm gonna send it.
On the app? Okay.
I'm trying to send it. On the app and via email. And create it.
Well, our next item up is public comment. I really don't want to get into public comment. We try to improve this to allow people to access it. We give you a moment, Madam Clerk, to try and work on
Yeah.
go to our reports.
Okay,
Can we come back to public comment?
okay.
But I want to reserve on public comment. I want us to come back to it when we've had an opportunity to provide this link, trying to get people access to it, so we don't have everyone here is available. In the interim, while we're waiting on that, let's take a look at our reports. We can make some progress. We just need a consensus to do it. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess that would be, it would either be that or, take a recess to provide some additional.
I understand, I just point of order.
No, I'm just trying to provide basically what I see the two options, so for either move on to reports or, or recess for a few minutes. Try to find.
Just open a new.
So then we have a.
Delete that one.
Go on to reports.
Yeah, delete it.
That's a good question. Because
Then you
we're
have to start a new one.
reports right now included. On the agenda, is there a specific reason about the recent space for it?
No reason that I can certainly see, but we can add it.
That's what I was wondering.
You're right.
Okay.
Delete that one.
So let's do that first. Do we have consensus to add commissioner report to the report section?
You do it on Google Calendar, right? Yeah, just go on calendars, delete it, and then you
Okay.
should start a new one.
That will be at
And
the
it'll be
end.
easy as well.
Of the report section, yes. So do we have a consensus to take, our reports, in the interim while we're working on the Zoom link?
Oh, that's this pink
Yes.
card.
Yes. Looks like I'm having, yeah, consensus, but- yes.
Yeah,
Thank
it's delete all, okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with our code. Or do we have to read this?
Mayor, if I could,
Yes.
so, yes, I don't see her. But, if I'm able to give the reports for the department directors. So, with respect to the code compliance department, along with the, public works department and our police department, they have jointly worked together in invading a longstanding code violation at a residence on 8th Avenue. Abandoned vehicles have been towed from the residence this past month. And the entire backyard was recently cleaned of overgrown vegetation, so that more abandoned additional vehicles could be towed from the property. Also, the building official is declaring the residence unsafe, and a demolition order is being sought from Miami-Dade County's Unsafe Structure Board. Liens are being placed on the property for the cost of the abatement, and the village may move to foreclose on those liens after a period of 3 months. This was great work by our code compliance department, an excellent example of various departments working together for the betterment of the community. The surrounding neighbors were very happy to see the violations finally cleared. With respect to our public works department, John is out this week on vacation. But in anticipation of our rainy and hurricane season, the Public Works Department has ordered 3 loads of sand that have been delivered to 3 different locations throughout the village. Shovels and bags are provided for self-sandbagging, and now before the rain arrives. As we have been in the past, rainstorms can move in quickly, and with that times no more than a 24-hour notice. For those low-lying areas in the village, we encourage residents to take advantage of this opportunity to stock up on the sandbags. There's no limit on the number of sandbags that any one home may take at this time. And the 3 locations are 10th Avenue and 109th Street, 7th Avenue and 112th, 8th Avenue and 116th Street. The Public Works Department is also in the process of providing a makeover of their facility on 8th Avenue and 109th Street. If you haven't driven by lately, I suggest you do so you can see what's going on. The outside of the building is being painted. The parking area has been striped, and the excessive storage of used items are being removed and organized. I thank John Jenkins, our Public Works Manager, and his staff for their commitment for these projects. This past Saturday.
So how long are the piles of sand are going to be there?
Until they're gone.
So
Until
for a month they can be there.
they're gonna be there, throughout the hurricane season.
Okay.
So-
A couple months from.
Right, so, we, throughout the whole hurricane season, they'll be there. So the residents could take advantage of it. The police department, I'd like to thank the commissioner residents that came out to the recent meet and greet that was held on Saturday morning on July 19th. I appreciate the police officers that joined us after the 10 to 11:30 portion of it. Police department officers came out to speak to all of our 3 final candidates for the police chief position. I received some valuable insight from the event, and it was great to catch up on some old friends, including our former mayor, Richard Eater. We have issued to several LTCs during the month of July. With respect to the police department's efforts, we're coordinating the tax collector's office to bring a Florida licensing on wheels to the village of Biscayne Park on Wednesday, August 25th. We have moved the date around, and it's now going to be on August 25th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Services that would be offered will be the vehicle is parked at the Ed Burke Recreation Facility, will be driver's license renewal, replacements, reinstatement, out-of-state driver's license conversion, state license ID cards, vehicle registration renewals, purchase of specially licensed plates, and emergency contact information registration. This is a great opportunity for our residents to take care of driver's license issues without having to wait for long lines at local driver's license offices. The state of Florida recently approved our change in locations for the debris management site for the open field south of Village Hall. This site has been used for a number of significant hurricanes, including Hurricane Andrew. It had come to my attention that the village manager's office, that the site was changed some years back to the Ed Burke Recreation Center open field. And using that site after a major storm would not allow our residents to use that field for many months. So we changed it back to behind City Hall. Also would impact numerous events throughout the year. So we're fortunate that we were able to move it back and the state has approved it along with Durham. And we thank the church and the surrounding neighbors for their cooperation in this effort. We hope and pray that this site will not be utilized anytime in the future. And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Thank you. So, let's just kind of back up very quickly, go to each department, reports and asking the commission to any questions or any discussion points. Since I know you have a few of them, Mr. Manager. So, the code report, was there any, questions or discussion items that any information wanted to address there? No, okay. Public Works. We're going to do one by one here. Okay. No, I missed building department, sorry. Building department. Okay. Police department, I know our acting chief is busy at work over here trying to help with our Zoom issues, so I'll hang on for a second for your acting chief. Any questions or we already on report, any questions or discussion points in finance? No?
Very excited.
So, is this it?
Yeah, that's it.
Good evening. There's a black BMW with their trunk open. I'm happy to shut it when I leave here, but if that belongs to you, you may want to shut the trunk. Open and there's somebody in the car. So. Annandale, I don't need to make an address because I'm Parks and Parkways board right now, not public comment. We met as a board, we've been meeting consistently as a board, throughout the summer, which is great. We've had now like maybe 4 or 5 meetings, which we feel really good about. And we just wanted to come and speak to you all a little bit in addition to sharing the minutes. Just to highlight a couple of things we've been talking about. One thing is that some residents have approached us because they wanted to know how to donate money in honor of, like to plan to treat in honor of a loved one, especially with a recent member of our community that has passed away. And we learned that there is no way for a resident to currently like plan to treat in honor of somebody. And we thought that was a great idea. So we reached out to the foundation to figure out and set up a way for residents or community members to donate to the village in order to treat in honor of a loved one. That's one thing. Another thing is Commissioner Huntington made us aware of the grants from the Department of Transportation. We discussed it and the turnaround for this grant is very tight. They released the information in July and the deadline to apply for the grant is next week. So at our last meeting, we gave the go ahead to direct the village manager to tell the grant writer to go ahead and apply for this grant. We're hoping that the grant writer follows through and makes the application and submits it.
We're available if anybody has any questions, and the village has all of our contact information. At our last meeting, we also, discussed the budget because we know you're preparing for the budget, and the upcoming budget workshops. We really strongly encourage you to protect the $50,000 that were allotted from last year's budget that wasn't spent towards tree planting. And we feel that that amount is appropriate and necessary. We've discussed using that money to do an assessment of the needs and the sites for the tree planting, tree replacements in areas that are impacted by the Australian pine removal, and then also related costs that go along with tree planting, like soil remediation, staking and watering. We believe these funds are vital to restoring canopy and goodwill, especially for residents who are still feeling the loss of the trees that have been removed from the front of their homes or in their immediate vicinity. Given the status of the grants and public funding, and from what we heard within our connections, with the grant world, we feel we cannot rely on grants to pay for the tree planting, and the tree replacement. So we really feel that this money is important, and we ask that you at minimum maintain the 50,000 that has been agreed on in the past, and that carries forward this year. We also do want to emphasize, we feel it is important to complete an assessment by either an arborist or a landscape architect to properly inform all stakeholders, commission, our board, and anyone involved in the process, so that we can make informed decisions that will improve our community, not in the short term, but also the long term. So thank you in advance for considering that. And then finally, in the main meeting, there were a couple of items on the agenda that were within the scope of our Parks Department's work. And as a board at that meeting, you discussed to table the items on that agenda to a possibility of a workshop with our board, and it was requested that a workshop be done with our board. We suggested after that meeting, I came up and spoke, and I said we would love that. We suggested a couple dates via the village clerk. I'm not sure if those dates were ever brought to your attention. They were in June. The dates came and passed. We do still feel that doing a workshop would be important with you all to discuss not just tree replacement, the Tree City USA proposal, the proposal around changes to village code, but also the best way that we can communicate, collaborate, support your work as a commission. So we want to propose some additional dates. And those are Tuesday, September 9th, Thursday, September 11th at 7:30 p.m. or Saturday, September 13th at noon. Those were 3 dates that works for our board. And so we'll leave it up to you to, talk as a commission, excuse me, to see if that's something that you would like to still pursue, and how we can properly, make arrangements from our board and your commission, as well as properly inform the public in case they would like to come, and can be a part of the process. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the update. Well, on that last point, just very quickly, I know that we had discussed doing that, having a joint meeting, we want to spend some time at the end of the meeting, looking at those 3 days, see if we can break time. Sure, well, Madam Clerk, how we look on Zoom?
I redid the link and we posted it to the app
Okay,
and,
so a
and
new
then
link,
it, and pushed it out via
new link
email.
is up and it is on the app, pushed out to the app.
Do you have it on the website as well? or no?
We just tried to put it on the website and it locked me out, so. Let me see, did it go?
Yeah.
No, it won't, it
Well,
won't
it
move
just-
over to the website.
Well, it was just published 6:32.
Yes,
Sorry, meeting, because my kids are at home alone. I had to come here to speak in person. I was trying to participate on Zoom. The meeting that was sent out at 6:32 says invalid meeting 19. So when I went to the calendar, it said the link right now, is scheduled for October 7th. I don't know if it's possible to go to your Zoom platform and look at October 7th and open that meeting. I use Zoom, or I used Zoom in the pandemic as a teacher, just, difficult, but, I've been in situations like this before, so my proposal would be open your October 7th meeting.
it's the same,
Whatever.
same link. Same thing is happening on October 7th.
Sure. Yeah, clearly. This morning, I'd just like to get it open and available.
Yes, there was in 2020, is this fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's your Zoom?
So acting chief, I know when you called the report, is there anything that you wanted to present to the commission on the police? No, okay. Right,
Push cancel.
so as far as dates for the September 9th, September 11th, September 13th.
September 9th.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So they will,
September 9th is a budget hearing.
yes, is that gonna work?
So we're gonna end that meeting.
How about the 11th? I can make it the 11th.